Nigeria's losing streak ends today. 4 videos, 4 last place finishes. Bread, milk, eggs, always the same result no matter what was on the table. That streak is over. This is not the good news it sounds like. 10 countries this time, since Spain just joined the list. Same question as always. How many minutes of work for 1 cup of coffee? And this is the video where the ranking does something it's never done before. Someone worse than Nigeria shows up. By a lot, not by a rounding error. You know the method by now, 5 videos deep. Price of 1 cup divided by legal minimum wage per hour. Not average, floor. Same rule, every country, every product, no exceptions made for anyone on this list. Let's just go. Norway. Hospitality wage floor, $19.50 an hour. A regular cappuccino in Oslo runs $5, one of the priciest cups on this entire list. Coffee culture here traces back to a prohibition period in the early 1900s, when coffee became the drink people reached for instead of alcohol, and Norwegians still drink more of it per person than almost anywhere else on Earth. Divide it out, and you get 15 minutes. Fastest on this list so far, Switzerland. Same $24.59 an hour as every video before this one. A cappuccino in Geneva costs $7.17, the most expensive cup of coffee anywhere in the world, full stop, not just on this particular list of 10. Divide it out and you get 18 minutes. Norway edges it out again. Third video running now where these two trade places depending entirely on what's being compared, and neither one has managed to win every single time. Spain, the new country, and here's why it earned a spot. Minimum wage there works out to $8.88 an hour, roughly gross before deductions, set by royal decree and revised most years. A cappuccino in Madrid costs $3.16. Spanish cafe culture runs on small, quick coffees, standing at the bar, not lingering over a laptop for 3 hours the way it plays out in some other cities on this list. Divide it out, and you get 21 minutes. Japan. $7.86 an hour in Tokyo. A cappuccino there runs about $2.90 at a regular cafe, though convenience store coffee machines sell a decent cup for closer to $1 if you're not picky about where it comes from, which honestly, in Japan, is rarely a bad bet either way. Divide it out, and you get 22 minutes. Spain and Japan are separated by less than 60 seconds of work, the tightest gap this entire series has produced between two different countries. United States. Federal floor, still $7.25 an hour, the same number every single video in this series has used, unmoved since 2009. A regular cappuccino runs $3.26, close to Spain's price, on a lower wage than Spain now has. Divide it out, and you get 27 minutes. Vietnam next, and this one deserves its own sentence before the number. Vietnam grows roughly 17% of the world's coffee supply, second only to Brazil. Minimum wage in Hanoi, 98 cents an hour. A cappuccino in Ho Chi Minh City costs $1.76, genuinely cheap by global standards, the kind of price that makes visiting coffee tourists assume they've found a bargain capital. Divide it out, and you land at 108 minutes anyway. Growing the beans doesn't make drinking the finished cup any faster, and that gap between producer and price is worth sitting with for a second. Russia. Minimum wage, $1.68 an hour, the number that's held steady across every video so far. A regular cappuccino in Moscow costs $3.26, almost identical to the US price, on a wage more than 4 times lower than the American one. Divide it out, and you get 116 minutes. Egypt. 57 cents an hour. A cappuccino in Cairo costs $1.30, one of the cheaper cups on this list by a wide margin. Egyptian coffee culture actually predates the cafe, as most of the world knows it, tied to Sufi religious ceremonies centuries ago, long before espresso machines existed anywhere. Divide it out, and you get 137 minutes. Nigeria. 28 cents an hour. A regular cappuccino in Lagos runs close to $1, one of the cheapest cups on the entire list in raw dollars. Cheap coffee, brutal division. you land at 217 minutes, 3.5 hours for a single cup. A number that would have been the worst this series has ever recorded in any previous video about any previous product. If you've been keeping score across every video in this series, Nigeria has never once avoided last place. Bread, milk, eggs, 3 different products, 3 different sets of circumstances, 1 identical result each time. Keep that number in mind for the next 30 seconds because it's about to matter more than it has in any video so far. India. National wage floor, 27 cents an hour. Essentially the same rate as Nigeria's, the same pairing that already broke this series once before, back in the eggs video. A regular cappuccino in Mumbai costs $2.60, more than double Nigeria's price for the same drink. Divide it out, and the number is 587 minutes, nearly 10 hours. For 1 cup of coffee, the kind plenty of people buy without a second thought on the way into work. That's not a new low for this series. That's the new bottom, full stop. And it isn't particularly close to whatever held that spot before it. Nigeria's streak just ended, and not in the direction anyone rooting for it wanted. India takes the spot instead, with a number more than double what Nigeria's ever produced across 4 videos of holding that position, in bread, in milk, in eggs, and now in coffee too, just not at the very bottom this time. Full ranking, fastest to slowest. Norway, 15 minutes. Switzerland, 18. Spain, 21. Japan, 22. United States, 27. Vietnam, 108. Russia, 116. Egypt, 137. Nigeria, 217. India, 587. A few things about this particular order deserve more than a passing mention. Spain slots in almost exactly between the 2 countries that have been trading the top spot all series, on a wage that isn't close to either one, proving once again that the wage floor alone doesn't decide anything by itself. Vietnam, one of the largest coffee producers on the planet, sits solidly in the middle of the pack, not the top, despite growing a meaningful share of the world's supply, which says something about who actually captures the value in a cup of coffee and who doesn't. And India didn't get here because coffee is expensive there. It's not, by global standards, sitting comfortably below the US and Russia in raw dollars. It got here because 27 cents an hour makes almost anything expensive, once you actually run the math, instead of just reading the price tag and assuming cheap countries stay cheap. 5 videos in, and the constant isn't a country anymore. It's the math itself. Whatever gets tested next, the wage decides more of the outcome than the price ever does. And today proved that harder than any video before it, with a number nobody watching this series expected to see. Subscribing keeps this list in your feed as it keeps changing, which it clearly hasn't stopped doing and won't anytime soon based on how these last 5 videos have gone. And if you want an entire video just on why India's wage floor produces numbers like this one, say so in the comments. That one might be worth doing properly, on its own, without 9 other countries competing for the runtime, digging into wages, cost of living, and what 27 cents an hour actually buys someone day to day beyond just a single cup of coffee.